You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done for professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday. It is the 27th day of November, 2018. Hope you're having a great Tuesday, whoever you are, wherever you are. So glad you're here right now. If you can't see the chart I have up, it is the S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you can't see that chart, just go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. In about 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the end of the month, which is not a long time. 1st of December, you'll have to do it all again. You only have to register once per month, but you do need to register once per month. Now, additionally, for your convenience, when you're out and about and away from the desktop, we do a dual stream during this show at youtube.com/CFRN/live. Bookmark that page. You'll always have one-click access to the show. These are, of course, last week's zones on all charts. Today's only Tuesday. On Thursday, we do break out the zones for the entire community, and we do encourage you to write those down because they can actually be quite beneficial to you. Maybe on Friday and Sunday night and into Monday and Tuesday, so give it a try. Okay. Got a little bit of news for you. Ohio, that's right. Under the leadership of Ohio Treasurer Josh Mandel, taxpayers are able to pay their state business taxes with cryptocurrency for the first time anywhere in America. Ohio has become the first state in the United States and one of the first governments in the world to accept cryptocurrency. Beginning this week, Ohio businesses will be able to go to the website ohiocrypto.com and register to pay everything from a cigarette sales tax to employee withholding taxes with Bitcoin. Eventually, this initiative will expand to individual filers. There are 23 eligible types of taxes. And this is according to the Ohio Crypto website. Eligible taxes are 911 wireless, cigarette and other tobacco products, commercial activity, consumer use, direct pay permit, financial institution, interest on lawyers' trust accounts, international fuel tax agreement, kilowatt hour, motor vehicle fuel, municipal net profits, municipal tax, electric, light, and telephone, natural gas distribution, a non-resident motor vehicle sales tax, pass-through entity tax, petroleum activity, premium insurance tax, public utilities tax, sales tax, seller's use tax, severance tax, streamlined sales tax, and yes, even withholding tax. The Ohio Crypto website also outlines the benefits of paying with crypto. Firstly, it is quick and easy for taxpayers, the website claims. There are 3 steps to follow. 1, you got to register on the website, enter tax payment amounts and tax period dates, and then use your compatible cryptocurrency wallet to pay the invoice with Bitcoin. Secondly, payments are tracked in real time on the blockchain. Thirdly, they are secured as cryptocurrencies cannot be transferred to third parties without user initiation. Anyone can view all transactions on the blockchain. Transparency. Furthermore, there are mobile options allowing taxpayers to make payments on their phones or tablets. The website also notes that a minimal fee is charged to confirm transactions on the blockchain network. Regarding which cryptos are accepted, the website clarifies taxpayers can currently pay their taxes with ohiocrypto.com in Bitcoin. Adding the Treasurer's Office looks forward to adding more cryptocurrencies in the future. The state will not be keeping the Bitcoins, however. At no point will the Treasurer's Office hold crypto. Payments made on ohiocrypto.com through our third-party cryptocurrency payment processor, BitPay, are immediately converted to USD before being deposited into a state account. BitPay usually processes both BTC and BCH payments. However, BCH payment processing is unavailable at this time due to the November 15th hard fork of the BC network. BitPay has temporarily paused Bitcoin cash payment processing until we determine that customers can pay safely. Did you ever think you would hear that? Come on, you did not. Yeah, I think we all did, right? It's taking some time. It's only one state. How does that go? As Ohio goes, so goes the nation? No, that's not a thing. Hey, let's take a look at the numbers real quick from around the world and see where we stand today. Now, these are cash markets. We'll talk futures in a moment. The Dow currently up 269 points. S&P 500, you know what? Let's double check that. Ever so glad. I'm going to check it one more time. All right. The adjusted reading says the Dow's down 40 points. Okay. NASDAQ up 2, S&P 500 down 1, and the Russell 2000 down 6. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 27 cents, trading 51.36 last. Gold down $10.20, trading 12.20 last. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei up 140 points at the close. The Shanghai lost a point, and the Hang Seng was down 44 at the close. In the European markets, the FTSE lost 20 points, the DAX down 45, the CAC down 12. Sort of a red radio day here around the world. Well, the Nikkei was positive, and here at home, the NASDAQ is holding on to its 3.5 point gain. Other than that, that's it. That's a bit of news. Those are the numbers. Let's go to Michael, get a recap of what happened in the live training room today, and then we'll be back with more. Michael, take it away.
Okay. I am ready. Let me put that over there. That there. And that right there. Alright. I'm ready to go. Alright, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me drag it up there and hit mute on my end.
Okay.
Sounds like your
ready.
volume trailed off a little bit.
Really? Let me move my microphone. There. Maybe that's better.
Oh, that sounds like normal. Okay.
Yeah, my microphone was moved away from me.
Okay, I'll hit mute and then it's all yours.
Okay.
All right.
Ready to go. Ready? Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I just had this thought just fleeting through my mind. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 27th day of November, 2018. Let's start out like this. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. The home page at CFRN.net. And that is where you would sign up for the free trial. Right over here on the side, it says 5-day free trial applied at CFRN.net. Click that, and you will be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit submit. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, we don't know you took the trial until you click that confirmation link, so make sure you do that. Okay? Okay. The spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is Tuesday, the 27th day of November, 2018. Today we made 15 ticks in the euro and 11 ticks in crude. That put us at 203.75. Today it took 19 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 103.75, and we took a total of 5 trade opportunities today. On the month now, we're at $3,225. That's over 17 days, averaging $189 a day. And on the year, we're at $34,603. That's over 219 days, averaging $158 per day. $158 per day. Okay. That is one contract, 2 hours per day. Now, I was making a point this morning about the gold. We haven't had a trade in gold in 5 days now. I think it might even be 6 days now. Let's go look at that again. One. Nope. Hang on. We have to go to this side. right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days in a row we haven't had a trade in gold. Now, we did get one trade set up this morning, but I was at that funeral at the time. But anyway, in here, let's just look at what happened and what didn't happen. We were looking for a short trade in here, but the slingshot wasn't set up for it. Then once it finally did get set up for it, it was 10:02, and we had a high impact news event come out, so we didn't do anything with it. We waited. Then it looks like right here there was a shorting opportunity, but there must have been a reason I didn't do anything with it. I think we were going into the low of the day. We finally had one here. This is when I was at the funeral, and and it dropped down, and did what it should have done. This was the low of the day. That's why we didn't do anything there, and you can see it just keeps putting in new lows here. But over here, the slingshot just prevented any short trades. Okay, now the euro, we had a couple of trades right here. The first one on the euro, we made 10 ticks right here. And then the next one, we made 5 more ticks. Put us at plus 15. That's where we got the goal for the day right there. Then the slingshot got all messed up. See, this is going one way, and this is going the other way. And then it finally got it together here, but we had dynamic resistance right there, so we couldn't do anything with this. And it turns out dynamic resistance ended up holding. Sent it back down, and we missed this short right here. That was just as I got back. We missed that short, and it hasn't had anything since. Okay, so we ended with plus 15 on the euro. And on crude, man, we had 3 trades on crude. Excuse me. We had 3 trades on crude. We started out with this one right here where we picked up 1 tick. Then, I think crude was hitting the low of the day or something like that here. I don't know why we didn't do this, but it looks like this was a momentum short trade that worked out okay. Then it changed directions, and there was a long right here, but we weren't really trending. I think that's why I didn't do anything. Then it got really choppy. Then it started a nice trend here, and we jumped in right here and picked up 10 ticks. It pulled back down, and it brought the cycle down with it. So we didn't have any trade setups through here. Then that all happened when I was gone. And let's see, right in here, there was a long opportunity right there going up into the high of the day. And look at that gravestone doji right there at the high of the day. All right, then it all turned around and started coming back down. We ended up with a break even right here, and I missed that one. And then the slingshot was not allowing any trades in there. Then we got into this huge downtrend during the break. There was a shorting opportunity from right here, and another one right here, and another one right here, and well, there was one from right here as well. And right now it's going into the low of the day. It's setting up a momentum short trade going into the low of the day. Okay, on the ES today, we didn't do anything with the ES. We watched it, but that was all we could do. Let me scroll back here. We'll go through this. I was looking at the ES on a larger time frame today, and I was telling everyone, well, here, I'll go through that in a few minutes. Let's see. On the ES, I had highlighted a couple of areas that trade set up. There was one right here, but it wasn't really trending very well, and it was going up toward a zone. So we didn't do anything with that. There was this one right here that I missed. I mean, I didn't do anything with the ES today, so everything that there was, I missed. This one right here would have stopped out, and I missed. Then it was just really choppy. There was one right here once it started to establish a trend. Bounce off the BBC, went right up into the zone. Then it got through the zone. I'm scrolling. Okay, and all this stuff in here, I was occupied. There was a long here and a long here. Okay. And then it came right back down to the zone. And this is all during the break now. Yeah, it really didn't do much here during the break. Okay. And you didn't have any trade set up during that span right there. But what I was going to show you is what I was showing everybody else during the session this morning. When this candle right here closed down, I said look for it to get back down to the weekly trading zone. And then when it gets to the weekly trading zone, look for it to get back up to this dynamic resistance. And then look for it to sell off of that dynamic resistance. And that's what it's doing right now. It was just bouncing around back and forth between here. And if you look back to here, you can see that there is a lot of selling pressure right up here where this dynamic resistance dot is. And now we just finished the next 15-minute candle. Nice big red candle. So it's got bullish divergence down here, or bullish separation. So it'll probably get back up to the weekly trading zone. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the weekly trading zone is only a couple points away. So it's no big shake, really. Okay. Anyway, to do an all-in-one. Oh, you know, it's tough, Brad, because you have to, I mean, I think they actually have an indicator that does that, or I know there was one in TradeStation, a trending indicator, but then you gotta tell it how far back to look, and so that's, you know, it's different. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, there are so many different things that come into it, like the nuances. You can't code a nuance. Okay, so I'm going back here. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. You know, you have to learn to establish the trend, and you know, once you do that, then you can pick a direction, and now your direction is chosen for you once you establish a trend. And then you just wait for the trade setups. Okay. So back to the spreadsheet. If you are going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Let me scroll up. Okay. And today we made 15 ticks on the euro and 11 ticks in crude, put us at 203.75 per contract. Today it took 19 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 103.75, and we took a total of 5 trade opportunities today. So on the month now, we're at $3,225. That's over 17 days, averaging 187 per day. And on the year now, we are at 34,603. That's over 219 days, averaging 158 per day. And that is one contract, 2 hours per day. Okay, one contract, 2 hours per day. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Right over here on the right-hand side, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. You can click on that, or you can click on any one of these things down here, free 5-day trial, use a proprietary indicators free, any of those things. You can click on them, and it's eventually going to bring you to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to click that link. Whew. Okay, and with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, are you in Studio A?
I am.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. So,
Recap of the recap.
Today it took 19 minutes and 3 trades to get to 103.75. 103.75.
Well, there you go.
Just an ordinary day.
Just another day in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
23, 113, 217, 14. Seems like a valid IP address.
You never know. You never know with these guys.
I know. I'm going to do a search.
Okie doke. Is John here?
He wasn't a minute ago. Let me check again. No, he's still not. Still not.
You know, that question that you had about any way to do an all-in-one, we are not trending, yes or no indicator. Is he referring to the range chart, or?
He was referring to just having some sort of indicator that would identify the range. I'm not the range, the trend.
Like the sentiment indicator that we used to, that we still in the toolbox.
Kind of. Yeah, we still have it, the sentiment indicator. We don't have it in Ninja, but we still have it. But yeah, that was, you know, that's longer term.
Here's a real good indicator for you. I'm gonna show it to you. To who is that? To Brad. Brad, I'll show you this.
Geolocation map. Kentucky.
Okay. When you see this, and I look through the holiday, see how much different that looks than this?
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes your eyes some time to kind of get acclimated, but it's a pretty good indication that if the red line is below the green line, color coded for your convenience, try to make it as simple as possible, take all the foolishness out. But that red line gets below the green line, we anticipate lower prices. So for me, that's the trend. Now, well, that's fine for a 30-minute chart, you say. Yeah, it kind of is fine for that, but it's also just fine. So ESZ8, go up to a daily chart. There we go. Okay. So from the daily chart, we can see that back here on October 10th, we got a bearish cross. Prior to that, on July 12th, we got a bullish cross. And the market did what the market does on the daily chart, which is the same thing it does on a 1-minute chart. Leg retrace, leg retrace, leg retrace, leg retrace, leg. Oh, see right here how we failed to put in higher high? Higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. See that, Brian? And so then as we come into October 10th and we get this bearish cross, we go from an uptrend to a downtrend. We get a little head fake here for 1, 2, 3 days. Okay. But notice the step line, okay, the step line caused this to never get confirmed. And now we are back where we just did a leg. After that comes a retracement. High probability it could be followed by another leg. Now, the other day when we looked at the daily chart, I said as we come back down, it's possible we're not going to get to this low. We were looking at that other chart, the daily chart I have marked up. I said because the people that participated in this, well, hey, they want to ride again, and those that missed that ride, well, they'd like to take it. So they bought their ticket early. And there we go. And here we go. Do they know that they bought their ticket? You know, that the train they bought the ticket for is headed for potentially a brick wall. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We'll see. But at least we know. Now, so that's daily. But if we back that down to even just a 30-minute, we got a bullish cross back here on November 25th, looks like. Yeah. And leg retrace, leg retrace, leg retrace. A little head fake here, right? Okay, but never gets confirmed with a red candle, and boom, all of a sudden, and you get another little. And in any time you see this on your 30-minute, you don't have a trend. Okay, when it starts this back and forth here, when you've got a trend, it'll start putting together some legs like this: leg retrace, leg retrace, leg retrace. And then, of course, you know that you can take it all the way down to the one you use, that Michael uses in the live training room every day. And that's the 4-tick range. And it's going to give you the same information. Okay? Now, a person will look at this and go, what? That is insane. 26.43, 26.36. Give me some of that. Okay. Here's the deal. All you got to do is learn how to not get your head handed to you. See, because, right, anybody can trade that, right? Okay. But how do you keep from getting your head handed to you there? How do you keep from getting your head handed to you there so that you can participate in that next down leg? Yeah, you don't want to get your head handed to you over here because you got something real nice coming up. Now the beauty is with the process that I just went through, you can understand where you're at in the grand scheme of things. Okay, on this daily chart we might be bearish, but yet even though we're in a downtrend, prices still got to come up, because what does price do? It always reverts to the mean. What is the mean? The mean here in this case is the BBC, bull bear cross. That's why we made it so simple. If it crosses below, that's bearish. Expect lower prices. Pretty much, you just got to get short. But you have to do it from a place of being able to limit your risk, manage your risk aggressively. Because as long as you can aggressively manage your risk, you'll always have something in your account to come back and trade with again tomorrow. So, back over here. Now, partners know why the market couldn't really stick up in this area today. Although, what was this, Michael? Did you happen to look at news? Was there something that happened in the world at
Cat spike
30 before the London Open?
There was, hang on, let me just go check. No, we didn't have anything scheduled. No, at that time there was nothing scheduled. So I don't know what happened there. I did notice it though this morning.
Shows up on all the charts. I don't think it was a bad tick, but it could be. Jones said it could have been OPEC. They're having an all-day meeting. Well, I did see that crude plunged.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good plunge. And I've had high hopes for crude here of late, but it has not met with my expectations. So I guess maybe we have $50 a barrel crude for a while. Seems like it wants to stay there. If we knock this out,
just 2 weeks ago it was 72 bucks, something like that, wasn't it?
We were at $76 on September 28th.
Yeah, so a month ago it was at 76.
Yeah. Now, here, I'll use that other chart. I'm going to put this back. Do you see John out there? I thought he was on his way.
He is not there.
Alright, that's the current 30-minute. So we'll go over here and we'll make this Now, on a daily chart, we had a bearish cross on October the 18th, following nothing other than that. You could have gotten short in this market at just based on that, just based on the fact that a bearish cross tends to foretell or find lower prices, and a bullish cross finds higher prices. It doesn't matter what time frame you're on. You can swim upstream or go with the flow. And so had you got short back on October the 18th at a price of, oh, I don't know, around $70, you could be, now you see this sideways walk that's starting right here? Okay. It started here, but there was still selling pressure or lack of buyer commitment. Started to do the walk, dropped again. See, we haven't even had one pullback yet. So now the more that I think about it, I shouldn't have had such high hopes for crude. I just thought it would give us some kind of a rally. But just because I think it's going to give us a rally certainly doesn't mean that. I mean, this is pegged at the bottom. This is coming down to meet it. Really, this daily chart spells nothing but lower prices for crude. However, there'll probably be some rallies. There'll be a journey back to the BBC, and then at some point we will start a transition. We'll someday we'll get a bullish cross, and crude will really start to head back the other way. So from up here at around $70 a barrel to down here at around $50 a barrel, that's about $20,000 per contract. From here to here. Now, we had a sell-off in crude some time ago. How many years has it been? My previous co-host predicted the largest rally in the history of crude. Now, I want to give him credit where credit's due. He did come on the show and publicly say, I got it wrong. Okay, well, that's fair. That's why I don't like to predict, because then you might get it wrong, and then, gee, I don't know, you feel all creepy. So you don't want to do that. Let's take this. Now, this is October 18. I probably got to go weekly to see what I want to see. So I'll go here, and I'll take it out to a week. Okay. Now here's the at GCL. Wow, it doesn't even go back that. It's been that long. It has been 3 years. I'm surprised at GCL doesn't go back further than 3 years. So what I was going to show you, and I can't because the data just won't go back that far, and I don't think going to monthly will help, because the data cuts off where the data cuts off. Now, interesting, look at this on a monthly, right? We looked at it on a daily a minute ago, but look at this on a monthly. It tells a bit of a different story. Back in February of 16, so we put in that sell-off was, that sell-off in crude, we were at 80 a barrel and went to 40 a barrel. Isn't that about right, Michael? Do you remember?
80 a barrel to 40 a barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 80 to 40, and what you can't see, right up there at the top left-hand corner, when I drag it over for a second, you can almost see it. It's a bearish cross, which takes you from 80 down to 40. That was a $40,000 per contract trade if you took it. If you saw the bearish cross and you took it, that's what it amounted to. Again, that's what my co-host was calling for the single. It was a biblical sized rally. That's how big it was going to be. But again, I got to give him credit. He came on the show and said, I got it wrong. Okay. It's biblical the other way. Okay. Now, so this is a story of crude. We're looking way back. We saw that. All right, now we come forward. We go back to daily. There's that October day that we looked at. Now, if you were simply long,
John's in the
John's there.
the house.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he just popped in.
Okay. Great.
His mic's not active yet.
You know, Gary, I never thought about that being an issue. Gary said that you have the right side locked on your chart, so you can't go back that far, maybe. I don't know about having the right side of my chart locked. I have clear space here. But on this daily, just look at crude from here, from October. I mean, it's an incredible move. Like I said, that's $20,000 per contract. Now, just say you were in the trade. You know, something happened. I don't know. You know, you spaced out. You wound up in this trade. Okay. Gary, you say go over to the last bar and click on it. Okay. Oh, go to view lock last bar. Which view? View lock last bar. Now, why do I want to do that? What does that do? What does locking the last bar do? Do you know, Michael?
I do not.
I have no idea. I never heard of such a thing. Huh.
He says you can go back farther.
Now I can go back further. Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's see just how far we can go. Well, I still... Hey, John, are you there?
Hang on, I gotta open up his mic again. Hang on. Okay, his mic is open.
Hello.
Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi there, just a sec.
Gary, I'll
how's that?
mess with that later.
Okay. Yeah, hi.
We're just looking at this, you know, back here, this move that we've seen in crude, that looks like it's going to continue for a while. That's a $20,000 per contract drop right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a big deal, and this
OPEC's meeting today. Is that why we got this spike overnight in the indices?
Might be. It might be, but obviously, you know, it's like somebody says something, maybe the thing goes up and then it comes down again. It's definitely under a lot of pressure. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, the U.S. has, in case people are not aware of this, the U.S. has vaulted into the, you know, by far the largest producer in the world now. I think we're pushing 12.5, maybe even 13 million barrels a day. It's a huge number. It's definitely more than 12, I think. It's 12.5 million, I think, right now. And if it's coming on at that rate, it could be compounding. You know, I think Canada has produced about 4 million, so that's 17. Mexico about 2 million, so that's 19. You know, the North American, you know, Mexus, or whatever they call it, the New Deal is, USMCA is a potential producer, you know, getting upwards of 20 million barrels a day. Pretty incredible. Certainly somewhere between 18 and 20. You know, that's by far the biggest in the world.
They always said if we could ever not be dependent on foreign oil, that would be a huge game changer. Has it really changed the game?
We're not there yet, but what is happening is a lot of, you know, most of Canada's crude comes into the U.S., I believe, and they're in a crisis situation because it's kind of weird, you know, the tar sands, which is responsible for you know, a very large amount of the Canadian production, is getting crazy returns right now, maybe less than $20 a barrel. So they're producing at a loss. It might get, there might be a rebound in that pricing structure. For some reason, it's very low right now, and it's causing a lot of panic. But that doesn't seem to be affecting the price. So they're continuing those operations. Maybe they're managing to get by, but the word is they're losing, billions. And
so they're losing money and going forward.
Yeah, apparently so. And then the U.S. is surging in production, and they keep drilling all the time. So that there's a possibility that U.S. production could increase even further. The crazy thing is the U.S. is actually exporting oil now. I think more in products than oil, and it's starting to export a lot of gas. So that's changing now, but they still have to import. Look, I think there's still about nearly 1 million barrels that comes from Nigeria per day. Maybe they're still getting maybe 1 million from Saudi, and they get some from Venezuela, I think, and that's a few other places. That's if they have, like, if they're doing 12.5 and they're importing 3, 2 or 3, or maybe 2 or 3 from the rest of the world, and the rest is Mexico, Canada. They're not importing a whole lot from outside of from Saudi Arabia anymore, or anywhere else in the world. So, when it's coming from Canada and Mexico, it's kind of helping the North American economy, if you like. It's keeping it in the area, the returns, if you like. So, and look, the more oil the U.S. produces, the less of it is going overseas. I mean, the crazy thing is that when we were using a lot more oil, or importing a lot more oil, that was the source of the budget, deficit, the trade deficit rather. And unfortunately, that trade deficit has been transferred to China now, and still is Japan and all these other countries. So what we're saving in oil in trade, we're losing in these we're losing because of the increase in trade with China and Japan and the European Union. So Trump's got a point there in terms of how it's costing America so much. But I think there's that. Look, if they pull off a deal and it's done right, and they can maybe get $300 billion worth of, near-term purchases from China, including a big aircraft order, that would be a huge win. I mean, if they can cut that deficit in half, even for a year, it's better than a poke in the eye, So
yeah, a lot better.
And it would be a big win for Trump. And it would certainly help. But I think the tide has turned, and there's more production. I mean, production is coming back to the U.S., and if the dollar would only go down, that would help enormously. And I think if the dollar does go down, maybe in 2019, then that's going to actually stimulate the world economy and probably get the price of oil back up as well. Remember, the oil's suffering a bit because of the high dollar at the moment. Dollar made a new high today. So it did.
What do you think the future is for the dollar?
It could turn on a dime. Somebody's going to do something about it one of these days, because it's actually working against. I think it's going up because of the tariffs. The tariffs are really, the dollar is feeding off the improvement in trade that's going to come from the tariffs. So, and that's why it keeps going up. But if they pull off a actual deal, then I think that could be dollar negative, and it might be dramatically so. So, it's not inconceivable that in a week or two, and by the way, a lot of times, there's a dramatic movement right around the beginning of the new month. So we could see a really, we could obviously see an upside explosion in the market potentially. We could see a dollar drop a point or two, and that could set off a huge rally in the gold. So even though the gold's off a bit today, if it turns from here, that could actually change the equation pretty positively. I mean, it's crazy because right now the gold stocks are under pressure, but it's not really affecting the gold that much. You know, it's still hanging around here north of 1200, which is, you know, not a bad place to be for the gold, given everything that's going on. I think if gold gets above 1250, the whole game is going to change. But we're nowhere near that just yet. But again,
yeah, kind of hard today.
Yeah. The palladium continues to be, you know, pretty strong. It's starting to. Every time the palladium turns, it usually means there's a rally coming in gold. And if we were able, look, if we do rally into the end of the week, which we might do on anticipation of this meeting, you know, that would actually put in a pretty good bottom on the gold and silver. So it feels like it's fairly close to turning, but it's not there yet. And of course, if the gold stocks, I mean, Newmont Mining is still pretty much, it's 31 3/4 right now. It's well off the lows. GOLD is way off the lows. It's $20 off the lows. I mean, it's there's only a handful of stocks that are dragging down the ETFs, and they could easily turn, you know, on a dime. So it would. I mean, if we did turn up from here, you'd probably have the makings of a pretty solid bottom. and the grains. Listen, the grains are creeping up here. Beans were up 13 today. You know, and they've kind of reversed yesterday's down. Excuse me, downdraft. So I keep an eye on the beans because they look like they could jump here, and cold weather might hurt the beans as well.
Let me bring the beans up. Yesterday, the sell-off yesterday was pretty rough. Last time I looked at it. It's daily. Okay, so here we go back into Friday, and that same thing I was just showing you guys earlier. No, where do you want to be short? Here. Where do you want to be long? Here. The indicators tell you yes. Don't want to oversimplify it, but I also don't want to overcomplicate it. So now, where do we go from here? I mean, used to hear beans in the teens and all those kinds of things. How many years has it been since we had beans in the teens? John? Did I lose you, John? I must have lost John. Okay, all right. Let's run through the numbers here. All right. On the S&P, last night's Concierge Trade Alert said to consider being long 2672. Now, 2672, this was the, let's go find the Sunday open. No. Closing in on it. Closer. Closer. Right there. Okay. Now, Monday started. Right here. So 2672. Right here. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. So we take out 2672 on the way up. And the thing runs all the way to 85, back below the trigger. This time, it only ran up 2.25 points. Back below the trigger, here we go again, and this time we run up to 79, so 7 S&P points. On the flip side, there was no flip side. We weren't looking for any flip-sidedness. Is that you?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Back.
Thanks. So, yeah, it's the markets are kind of really jumpy today, very volatile, you know, kind of all over the map. Last night there was something happened that, you know, we got actually a pretty big jump during the night.
2:30 Eastern, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what that was. I don't know what it was.
It could have been something to do with Brexit, because you know, right at that point, the British pound took a hit, and the currencies and the euro took a hit as well. So whatever it was probably related to that. You know, we ran up today and kind of tested this high last night. We didn't take it out. We took it out on the Nasdaq. We double topped on the Russell, and we put in a lower high on the Dow and the S&P, and now we're coming off. You know, it's not. It's not. Look, if we broke down from here, it would not be good. But the way it's looking right now is, it looks like we're kind of consolidating here, and if we actually work our way higher before the day is out, I would consider that to be a plus, especially if the Nasdaq closes positive. I'm not so worried about the, you know, the S&P is only off $1.50 right now, and the semiconductors are actually positive. Incidentally, our old friend Maxim is joining the S&P 500, and we put out a buy on that this morning, and it's been up $1 or $2 from there. I would be buying dips on Maxim. You know, as long as the market is strong, I'd be buying Maxim, because when the market was stronger, some other stocks that joined the S&P had a huge run up. And I wouldn't be surprised if something similar happens to Maxim, but you know, it's a little bit subdued today just because of the way the market's going. Earlier on, Nvidia was looking strong; it's come off again. So was Apple. So you know, and Facebook is after rallying yesterday is coming off again, and Netflix as well. So you know, all of these stocks and even the drug stocks seem to be under pressure today. The LABUs are pretty weak, so there's a number of things that are bothering the market, that are kind of holding it back, if you like. I put out a buy on the Mexican market this morning because I just thought I'd look at it last night to see how it was doing, and oh, I know what happened. I saw in the news that it was down about 4%, and you know, probably because of all this immigration stuff and everything, and because of Trump threatening to close the border. So it felt to me that it was a bit overdone. So I just said, look, you know, you should take a shot at buying the next upturn. Last time I looked, it's up about 1.5%. Might be coming off a bit right now. I mean, but the inauguration of the new president happens on December the 1st. And I wouldn't be surprised if we rally into that inauguration. Right about the time he was elected, the Mexican market hit an all-time high, or close to it, around 52,000. Yesterday, it hit 39,000. So it's been absolutely decimated, you know, since in this period of what you call it, you know, transition. And it's a little bit like Obama's, you know, in 2009 when Obama took over. Remember, it didn't go right out, it didn't take off right out the gate, and unfortunately, a lot of what this guy has said, is you know, has been negative, because he's doing a lot of dramatic things, and the market, you know, doesn't, you know, sort of seems to have not liked, you know, there's been a lot of factors that have been hitting the Mexican market. Anyhow, you know, you don't know whether this thing is going to go right on the day he's takes over, or whether he's going to have a period like Obama, maybe a couple of months before the low the real low is in, and then it could take off. But I'd be inclined to be fairly bullish on the Mexican market once things settle down, because it's got a long way to go back to the highs. I mean, jeepers, it's really gotten shellacked, you know.
What has?
The Mexican market.
Yeah, I'm looking at the peso right now. That's what I've got up on the chart.
Yeah, the peso's you know, also under pressure, but it's trying to make a bit of a comeback here. It's kind of in an area of support. But I think that they've been breaking all kinds of records, like the U.S. I mean, the unemployment rate in Mexico is down to about 3.2%. And they've created more jobs in this last 6 years, I believe, than ever before. So it's the market selling off is not kind of, you know, it's kind of like what's going on in the U.S. now, where the market is selling off, and yet, you know, we're not seeing any real economic change just yet. But unfortunately, this is something I wanted to mention today. If you look at the unemployment claims, we got down to about 200, 202, I think was the low, of actual weekly unemployment claims, and we're up to about 214, maybe 225 now, actually. So we're coming off the lows, and that is a little bit of a bad sign. Now, normally when you see this happen, it's usually a buy signal for gold, but you know, where it's not happening yet. But I would say if the unemployment, you know, I'm not sure we're at the bottom of this cycle yet on the unemployment, because listen, if we just had minus 20,000 or 25,000, maybe even this week, you know, with Christmas coming up and everything, you know, that would put the unemployment claims down to a new low practically. So, and there's distinct possibility that could still go lower. So all I'm saying is, if this thing starts to, you know, if unemployment claims start rising, you know, pretty sharply, then it's definitely a sign that you know, layoffs are starting to happen, and that the bloom is off the rose on the unemployment rate. So the other thing is, which is lost on a lot of people, is that the Fed has raised, you know, they basically doubled the interest rate from, you know, 1 3/4 to almost 3 to you know, in the last year or so, and it's much more than that from the low point. It's like a 500% increase. This is a really big deal, because it affects all kinds of things in mortgages and all sorts of things. So it really, you know, it does have an impact on the economy. And in the same way that Ray Dalio has been warning, you know, not to get caught in this 1937 trap, unfortunately they look like they've already fallen into it. And that's one of the reasons why the market's acting, you know, the way it is. I mean, this effort to rally here, you know, it's sort of a do or die. If we rally into the end of the week and we pull off a deal with China, you know, the market, I mean, the correction could be over for sure. But if the G7 decide to, you know, get the world economy going again, it's G20 rather, you know, that would be very helpful too. But if it all falls apart and something really bad goes down, you know, there could be another big leg down, more or less along the lines of what Garrett was talking about.
Hey George, John, who is G-E-N-G? Ging? Who's that?
I think he's the president. Jiang. I think his name is Jiang.
G-E-N-J. I mean G-E-N-G. Anyway, Roy, I'd put that to Roy. He posted this in the chat box. Cause of large move last night. Jing said that President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping agreed to reach mutually beneficial agreements, sparking a rally in futures and a plunge in the dollar. Trump and Xi agreed to reach mutually beneficial agreements. However, this quickly reversed and futures erased gains when moments later, Jing said he was referring to the phone call on November 1st, which Trump had already tweeted about, and which has now been long priced in, if not forgotten. So who is this person, Roy?
It could be the president, the new president of China, I think, or premier. No, not president. Sorry, prime minister.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Also, Bob had typed in earlier when we were talking about crude. First, he said, I think I remember hearing that tar sand oil wasn't profitable below $74 a barrel. Extraction and refining of that stuff's very costly. And then he found this. It says new wells have a break-even point of $81 in undeveloped fields, $52 for wells already under construction, and $49 for a producing well. And he's in Canada, so.
Yeah, that's, I mean, look, some of these, the Permian Basin, it might be lower, some of them around 40, even as low as 30. You know, some of those estimates are a little bit above, you know, they're not, they're just a second.
So, yeah, it turns out Jing is the foreign ministry spokesman from China.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Roy.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, they're definitely not making a fortune in the oil business right now. It's you know, remember, a lot of them are way up their necks in debt, and that's why a lot of these, you know, a lot of these oil companies are pretty borderline, if you like, you know. Boy, it looks like we're starting to just had a rally there, and they just got.
Yeah, they capped it. They capped it and sent it back.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover today, John?
No, listen. Thanks very much for the invite. It's definitely looking like, you know, this afternoon's going to be I know, being a Tuesday too. We're not acting that great for Tuesday, so you know, this spike overnight is look, if we can work our way back up, which I wouldn't rule out, and take out that spike, you know, in another effort to rally later today, that would be impressive. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it yet. I mean, we've been sitting at a negative breadth all day, sort of near the lows of the day, around about 900 minus, which is another, you know, thing that's not.
That false rally last night, that's probably got people spooked as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
John, have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, much obliged.
Okay. All right, let me close out John's mic. And time for our good word for the day. Okay, there's his mic. It's done. And done. Okay. Now, some people say it's not over to, you know, that one lady sings. And some say it's not over until you don't get back up again. So I want to encourage you today, whatever's got you down, and it may have had you down for a while, get up. Let me say it again with Christian love. Get up! Isaiah 41:10 says this, do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So, to succeed in life, you're going to need two things. Number one, you're going to need the right people. Sometimes the first step towards getting out of discouragement is finding somebody who can lift you up. You know, the old wind beneath your wings thing. When you spend time with someone who is continually negative and full of despair, woe is me, you can come out of that conversation feeling pretty negative. You went in feeling pretty good, and by the time you walk out, you're bummed out. The company you keep will either lift you up or pull you down. Lift you up, pull you down. You know, this probably isn't politically correct, but if you do nothing but hang around with poor people, probably you'll end up being poor. If you hang around with wealthy people, you might see some cash flow into your life. It's like the old saying, if you go to the barbershop enough times, eventually you're going to get a haircut. There's a book. It says the 5 people, and I don't know how he came up with 5. It could have been 4, it could have been 6, but he chose 5. The 5 people that you spend the most time with are literally who you become. You absorb a little bit here and a little bit there. I don't know that I fully agree with his take on that, but it's an interesting concept because I know it does have a huge influence. But it rules out the fact that there is an inner you, a core being. You know, God did create each one of us, not just the other 5. So, remember, whoever you're hanging out with the most, whoever you're spending the most time with, think about it for a minute. Who do you spend most of your time with? The company you keep will either lift you up or pull you down. Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 7:6, God who comforts the downcast comforted us by the coming of Titus. So, you need a Titus in your life. I need a Titus in my life. We all need to become Titus to others. God doesn't bless us just so we can be blessed. He blesses us so that we can be a blessing to others. The Bible says in Galatians 6:2, bear one another's burdens. Now, I said you need 2 things to succeed in life, and the second one is the right perspective. You need the right people, you need the right perspective. Got to hang out with the right crowd. Man, I mean, your mother told you that. You know, don't get in with the wrong crowd. She was right, right? They were always right. So number 2, you need the right perspective. Over half, now that's a big number, over half of all salespeople fail because they don't go back a second or third time. About 58% of salespeople make 1 call and stop. 25% make 2 calls and stop. 15% make 3 calls and stop. The 12% who go back again and again and again make 80% of all sales. Now, which group do you want to be in? I know where I want to be. So, whatever's going on, whatever's happening, if it ain't good, get up. Don't settle for failure. Get up and try again. If you get knocked down, what are you going to do? Lay on the couch and watch Springer? I don't think so. Get up. Promise me. Say it out loud. Doesn't matter what your coworker thinks. Just say out loud, I'm getting back up. I don't think that bell ever quite hit that note before. That's good. If you'll get up, God will work with you. Read Philippians 1:6. Missionary and a theologian E. Stanley Jones said, when life kicks you, let it kick you forward. When you get up again, all right? If you get knocked down, just make sure you fall on your face, okay? Because that's forward progression. Ask an NFL ref, he'll tell you. Forward progression. Every time you get up, if you fall down, just fall on your face. Keep getting up and keep falling on your face. It's painful, but you'll get there, if you get my point. The main thing is, you got to get up. You must absolutely, positively refuse to accept defeat. It's not an option. I'm sorry, in this area, I have no plan B. When it comes to Jesus, I have no plan B. Get up. You'll be rewarded for what you finish, not for what you start. Sometimes the last key on the ring is the one that opens the door. So don't be the salesman that only calls once or twice or thrice. Keep going back till life rises up to meet you. Ask God for the strength to keep keeping on until you win. That's the secret. The secret of life, right here on CFRN. So glad I can share that with you. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.